everyone and welcome back to my channel. So a little bit of a different setup. I'm filming in my bedroom today, which I've never done before, and it feels really weird. I usually film downstairs in my front room, but basically my camera has broken. I'm also filming on my phone, so that's why the quality is a little bit different. I don't know where the camera is, where I'm supposed to be looking. Everything is basically falling apart. My camera's broken. I can't film in my front room, so I'm in my bedroom on my phone because I still wanted to film a video and get a video up for you guys. So this is me just making the best of a bad situation, and I'm gonna film a big music Q&A. So I asked on my Instagram and also on the YouTube community here if you had any questions for me about music, and I got quite a few, so I'm gonna answer as many of them as possible. If you want to ask me any more questions about music, your best bet would be to follow me on Instagram. It's marylovesmusic_. Yeah, I'm pretty active on there and always replying to messages, so feel free to message me on there. And yeah, let's just get going. I've written the questions down. That's how organised I am this time. And obviously I can't look at them on my phone, so if you see me looking down, that is what I'm looking at. So the first question was an album that blew your mind on the first listen. Now obviously there's loads, but the first one that comes to mind is an album I've spoke about loads on this channel, Fear of a Blank Planet by Porcupine Tree. It comes to mind because it's one that I literally fell in love with after the first listen. I literally was obsessed with it. Listening to the song Way Out of Here just stopped me dead in my tracks. I was like, this is so good. A few more just off the top of my head: Nursery Crime by Genesis, Speaking in Tongues by Talking Heads, and then honestly Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. The next question was, what is the best album by Beck? Because I posted on my stories that I've been listening to a lot of Beck recently, so someone asked me that, and honestly every album by Beck is pretty good. They're all very unique, but I would have to say that my personal two favourites are Colours and Midnight Vultures. The next question is, how do I get into Nine Inch Nails, or what album should I start with to get me into Nine Inch Nails? I've actually had a fair few messages like this, and honestly this warms my heart. It makes me the happiest person alive that someone would think to come and ask me how to get into Nine Inch Nails. Obviously I just love talking about Nine Inch Nails and spreading the word, but my advice would be, if you've never ever heard Nine Inch Nails before, then probably just start from the beginning and listen to the album Pretty Hate Machine and then work your way chronologically. If you're into more kind of experimental music, then listen to The Downward Spiral first, or The Fragile, either one of those. If you like classic rock and classic guitar heavy songs, then start with the album With Teeth, or maybe The Slip. But yeah, if you are stuck or want more personal song recommendations, then message me on Instagram and I'll be happy to help you with that. Next question was, what is my favourite guitarist, bassist and drummer? I had to think about this one for a while, but my favourite guitarist is just got to be David Gilmour. My favourite bassist is either Paul McCartney, obviously, Geddy Lee, or Tina Weymouth. And my favourite drummer is Gavin Harrison from Porcupine Tree, or Matt Helders from Arctic Monkeys. Someone asked me my favourite song of all time, which is a pretty easy one. It is either The Wretched by Nine Inch Nails or Listen to What the Man Said by Paul McCartney and Wings. And the next question is an album to listen to when you're sad. So I had to pick two because I feel like sometimes when you're sad, you want to listen to sad music to make you feel even sadder, or sometimes you just want to listen to a pick-me-up album, so I chose both. So if I'm sad and I want to cheer myself up, then I'll probably listen to Remain in Light by Talking Heads or Abbey Road by the Beatles. And if I'm sad and I want to feel even worse, then I'll probably listen to Folklore by Taylor Swift. Next question is, first Beatles album / song you heard, and did you like them straight away? So I'm pretty sure the first Beatles song I ever heard was Yesterday, because I've got quite early memories of listening to that when I was really young, 7 or 8 in primary school. And I don't think that I loved them straight away. I was always a Paul McCartney and Wings fan. If you've watched any other videos on this channel or know anything about me, then you'll know that Wings were my introduction to the world of music, and they're still one of my favourite bands of all time. I was absolutely obsessed with Band on the Run from a very young age, but I didn't get into the Beatles until a little bit later. I think I was quite late in the game. And yeah, my heart was always with Wings, even though obviously I'm still a huge Beatles fan. Next question is, do you prefer instrumentals or lyrics? This is such a hard question because honestly, like, I love both, I really do. I feel like you need both. And obviously I'm a huge progressive rock fan, which is all about the instrumentals, and I do love a guitar melody, I really do. But then I am in awe of people like Taylor Swift and obviously Trent Reznor that managed to write these like beautiful, captivating lyrics. It's really, really hard, but I think if I had to choose, if I had a gun to my head, then I would say instrumentals. Next question, what do you think of grunge? Not a huge fan. Honestly, not a huge fan. Maybe it's something that I need to like listen to more, but I think like kind of the most famous grunge band is Nirvana, and I don't like them at all. Next question, what kind of non-English bands do you listen to? I love this question because I actually really want to get into more like non-English speaking bands. So please leave me suggestions in the comments if you have any. Right now I'm loving a band called Melody, who are from Finland, and their music is absolutely incredible. But yeah, I'm always open to more suggestions, so please leave them in the comments. Next question is, what year had the best music? This is just the hardest question in the world. I actually had to like look through my music. Just to pick one year is nearly impossible, but 1971 was a fantastic year for music. You had like Blue by Joni Mitchell, Ram by Paul McCartney, Aqualung by Jethro Tull, Hunky Dory by David Bowie. I also really like the year 1994 because you obviously had The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails, Portrait of an American Family by Marilyn Manson, The Holy Bible by Manic Street Preachers, and what was the Oasis? Definitely Maybe by Oasis. So loads of good music in 1994 as well. Next question, do you have a favourite music movie? So love this question. First of all, if School of Rock counts, then it is absolutely School of Rock because I love that film. But like more of a typical like music movie, A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles is pretty good. Next question, a little bit of a controversial one. So what do you think about separating the art from the artists, like with Manson? So I haven't spoken about Marilyn Manson on my channel, to be honest, really, since the whole things with the allegations. And it's weird because he is where my channel actually started. Like the first music video I ever made was my Marilyn Manson Worst to Best video. So it's a weird one. Definitely divides opinion. Some people might not agree with my opinion, but for me, it's kind of, I kind of feel like people should just mind their business a little bit with it. Like if you want to carry on listening to somebody, even after, you know, there's allegations against them or whatever it is, if you don't want to listen to them anymore because of that, or you feel like you can't, then that should be your choice. But if someone else wants to carry on listening to them, I really don't think it's anyone else's business. It's hard. Like, I still listen to Marilyn Manson music, not as much, and I haven't listened to it in a while, but I will still listen to the odd song here and there, and I'm probably going to go back to listening to full albums at some point. I still love the music. It's a big part of my life, but obviously the respect and adoration I had for him as a person, sorry about my cat, but obviously the respect and admiration I had for him as a person is no longer there, which is a shame. But when it comes to the music, I don't really have any qualms in still listening to it because it's already been released, so why would I not listen to it, if you know what I mean? I just think it's a personal choice, and if you don't want to listen to someone anymore, don't, but don't berate the people that do, because really there's bigger issues out there. Next up is your favourite Talking Heads album and top 5 songs. So favourite Talking Heads album is either Remain in Light, obviously, or Speaking in Tongues. And my top 5 songs are Cities, Born Under Punches, And She Was, Girlfriend Is Better, and then my absolute favourite is Cross-Eyed and Painless. Next question, I love this one. A band everyone loves that you hate and vice versa. I love questions like this. It's always interesting to hear other people's opinions. So hate is a pretty strong word, but I don't really like the Beach Boys and everyone seems to love them. I'm not a big fan of Nirvana and everyone seems to love them. And as for a band everyone hates but I love, it's a weird one because I don't think everyone hates this band because they're literally one of the biggest bands in the world, but I do sometimes feel like I'm the only person who likes Coldplay's newer albums like A Head Full of Dreams and then their latest one, Everyday Life. I absolutely love all Coldplay albums. I really love Coldplay, so I guess I would have to say them, although I don't really think everyone hates them. Next question, Lennon or McCartney, Waters or Gilmour? So first one is a no-brainer, McCartney. Paul McCartney is my favourite musical artist of all time ever. Absolutely love him. And then in the David Gilmour versus Roger Waters debate, I am Team Roger all the way. Next question, Depeche Mode or The Cure? Easy one for me, Depeche Mode. Never really been a big fan of The Cure. Next is favourite/least favourite album art and why. So I have so many favourite album arts. Obviously The Fragile by 9 Inch Nails is one of my all-time favourites. I love the way the logo is cut off. I think that looks really cool. I also love the album art for The Endurance by Adam Young, Nursery Crime by Genesis, and Folklore by Taylor Swift, which I've spoken about 3 times in this video now. And as for least favourite, that's quite hard. I don't hate any that much, but I've never been a huge fan of the Rumours by Fleetwood Mac album cover. Don't know why, just think it's a little bit boring. Also, I think Grace for Drowning by Stephen Wilson, not really my favourite album art either. Next up, what Marilyn Manson song do you relate to the most? So again, this was a tough one because a lot of his music is quite like harsh and angry and I'm quite a happy person, but I think the ones that lyrically I relate to the most are probably Lamb of God, Worm Boy, and then probably The Bright Young Things. Next question is favourite 9 Inch Nails collaboration. Again, a tricky one because I love most of them. I quite liked the Health collaboration, but I think my favourite of all time would have to be Trent singing on the Queens of the Stone Age song Collapsia, whatever it's called. Such a great song. I also really like Trent with Danny Elfman, the song True, that's great as well. And someone asked what was my first ever gig. So my first gig was Owl City. I think it was in 2011 or 2010 maybe. I know that I was like 13 and I hysterically sobbed the entire way through the concert. And then speaking of concerts, someone asked what is the best concert I've ever been to. Definitely a hard one. I've seen Arctic Monkeys quite a few times. I've seen them like 5 times now and they're always amazing, literally pitch perfect. But I've probably had the most fun at the Paul McCartney concerts I've been to. So I saw him for the first time back in, I think it was 2015 and then again in 2018. He always puts on an amazing show. He plays for 3 hours and it's always just a really great time. Someone asked who my favourite underrated artist is, and I've spoken about this before and I will speak about it again. I feel like I need to shout this from the rooftops. Adam Young, which is the man behind Owl City, and he also does solo stuff. He's got lots of side projects and stuff, is probably one of the most talented musicians, lyricists, producers, songwriters, everything that I've ever seen. And he's just an all-round amazing person and I just love him. Next question is, what is the most excited you've ever been for an album release? And this might come as a shock to people, but probably Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. I literally counted down the days waiting for that album. Another one is We Are Chaos by Marilyn Manson, and then McCartney 3 by Paul McCartney. Currently, I'm very, very excited for Coldplay's new album, Music of the Spheres. I think it's coming in November, and that is what I'm most looking forward to music-wise at the moment. Next question is favourite live performances. So I don't know if you mean ones that I've been to or just general, but I've already spoke about ones that I've been to. So general performances, 9 Inch Nails 1994 at Woodstock has the biggest place in my heart ever. That is just incredible performance. It literally blows me away every single time I watch it, which is quite often. And then probably Stop Making Sense by Talking Heads, just unbelievable. And the final question that I'm going to answer is, what is your opinion on greatest hits albums? This is a really interesting one actually. I'm not really a big fan of greatest hits albums. I think the reason behind that is because music is literally my life. Like, I listen to music non-stop, constantly listening to music, thinking about music, making YouTube videos about music. And I am an album person, like probably many of you are that are watching this. I like listening to albums from start to finish. I like knowing everything about albums, where they were made, how they were made, all the kind of little nuances and things like that. So in that respect, I think greatest hits albums are a little bit redundant for me. I can't really think of a time that I've ever properly sat down and listened to one, but maybe for a more casual music listener they would work, just not for me and my obsessive personality. So that is all the questions that I'm going to answer today. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got any more questions for me, please leave them down below. I definitely want to do another one of these again where I just get to talk about music. Definitely subscribe before you leave and go and follow my Instagram. It's marylovesmusic_. Give the video a thumbs up and I will see you next week for my next video. The next video I'm doing is my top 10 progressive rock songs, so look out for that and I will see you next week.